Welcome into Tech Softball Park for the second game of the doubleheader between the North Carolina Tar Heels and the Virginia Tech Hokies for 3304 Sports. I'm Jake Lyman alongside my color man Trey Lyle. And Trey, we had a good first game, a 5-0 win for the Hokies. What will the Tar Heels have to do today if they want to split this series and win the rubber match of this three-game series, the first game being yesterday?
Well, I think it's going to come down to pitching. Hannah George, who pitched a little bit, fifth inning on, was able to not allow a run, is going to be in the circle for the Hokies after Brittany Pickett got hit around a little bit, giving up 5 runs. Both teams in this have given one of their pitchers has pitched a shutout in order to win. So I think the pitching matchup is going to be key and not allowing the other team to get going offensively.
And Hannah George, like you said, came in, looked solid, did not give up a run in her appearance in the first game. And so UNC coming into this day, if they had swept the doubleheader, they would have taken the lead in the ACC Coastal. That can't happen anymore. But now Virginia Tech, if they win this game, they will clinch the ACC Coastal in the last season with divisions.
For now. We never know when it's going to change, but we'll say for now. And then on the circle is the junior leader, Carly Everly, who pitched a great game, only gave up one earned run in her last outing, but still got the loss against North Carolina yesterday. And so just some unfortunate luck that went her way. The 1.56 ERA, 22-4 on the season. Your head coach, Pete Demore, you're hoping that your junior leader in Eberly can get you a great start today and wrap up this division title even before you play your final ACC series next week against Boston College. And speaking, if they win this game today, they also tie their school record for series wins in the Atlantic Coast Conference with the 07 team.
And Eberly has been such a great pitcher for Virginia Tech this year, 22-4. She doesn't usually have 2 losses in a row with only 4 losses on the year. So I think Pete Demore has to expect that she's going to be on her game today. Yesterday, gave up 3 runs, only 1 of them earned. So she'll look to improve here today. And we'll go into the starting lineups here for both teams. For North Carolina, leading off once again is Leah Murray. She now has a 14-game hitting streak after she singled out to left field in the first game. Christina Burkhart batting second and playing right field. Keani Ramsey was leading the team in batting average entering the day. She will play center field and bat third. Brittany Pickett not pitching in this game, but she will be the designated player, and she will bat cleanup. Megan Dre, the catcher, will be hitting in the 5-hole today. Berlin De La Mora, third baseman, she will be batting 6th. Hannah George, the pitcher, batting 7th. Campbell Hutcherson playing first base, she'll bat 8th, and then batting 9th will be Destiny DeBerry playing left field. Abby Settlemeyer will not bat, she will play shortstop. Trey, who are you looking for in that lineup to make an impact?
I think you have to go with the leadoff hitter, Leah Murray. 14-game hitting streak, batting .356. She's just a great person for this for head coach Donna Papa to get on base and steal a base. She recorded her 100th stolen base in the last game, so definitely expect her to make an impact early. And I think for both teams, to go back to the pitching, it's been when the hitters have gotten aggressive and gotten on pitchers early in counts. Like Tull's home run was on the first pitch. The home run by Strouth was on the second pitch of the at-bat. So getting on these pitchers early and often is going to be a key, because once these pitchers get settled in, it's really hard to get them out of it.
And yeah, we saw that a lot in the first game. The pitchers were putting pitches in the strike zone to start at-bats, but the players coming up a little bit timid, not swinging at that first pitch, falling behind, and then they're at the mercy of the pitcher at that point. They're seeing pitches that they're not going to want to turn on and make a play with. So we'll move on to Virginia Tech's lineup. Jamie Bailey leading off and playing first base. She had 2 hits in the first game. Darby Troll, like Trey just said, had a home run in the first game. She'll bat second, play center field. Caitlin Nolan leading the team in home runs with 15. She'll play shortstop and bat third. Batting cleanup, Emma Strouth. She has power, as we saw in the first game. Hit a home run to start off the scoring, a 2-run shot to left field. Kelsey Bennett holds the Virginia Tech record for home runs in a season by a freshman with 13. She'll play third base and bat fifth. Then Al Velasquez playing right field, the transfer from Minnesota. She'll bat sixth. Lauren Duff stepping into the lineup, the designated player. She'll bat seventh. Mackenzie Lauder back behind the plate for the second game. She'll bat eighth. And then Maddie Banks, we saw her have an impressive game at the plate in the first outing, and she will bat ninth and play second base, that second leadoff for the Hokies. Carrie Eberly, the starting pitcher for the Hokies, as we mentioned.
And when you look at this Hokies lineup, you simply have to look at 3, 4, 5, the power of the lineup, the hardest part of this lineup to face. Just look at these home run statistics. 15 home runs, 12 home runs, 13 home runs, RBIs, 46 RBIs, 59 RBIs, 42 RBIs. I mean, just as a pitcher, you just have to face that, and you might be a little intimidated to face that part of the lineup, but if it's just impressive to see how the Hokies have built that kind of stranglehold on that 3-4-5 lineup.
We mentioned that a lot in the first game. Getting through that 3-4-5 is really tough, and we saw Hannah George did it when she faced them back in the fifth inning of the first game. We'll see if she can have a little bit of control over them in the second game. We're going to take a break. The national anthem about to play here at Tech Softball Park. We're about ready to go for game number 2. This is 3304 Sports. I'm Jake Lyman alongside Trey Lyle, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Tech Softball Park for the second game of the doubleheader between the Virginia Tech Hokies and the North Carolina Tar Heels, the top two teams in the ACC. And we're about ready to go here as Carrie Eberly toes the rubber in the circle, 22-4 on the year, and she will face Leah Murray to start off the game. Murray stepping in with a 14-game hitting streak. First pitch bunted on the ground. Bennett up with it. Will throw over to Banks at first, and that is out number 1. A quick out to start there for Eberly. 1 pitch, 1 out, and we are underway here at Tech Softball Park.
Murray tried to attempt that bunt in the last game, and Bennett gets her twice now, able to collect that very quickly, timed it perfectly, able to attack it and get the out at first.
We saw it in the first game. Maddie Banks coming over to cover first base. Well-executed play there as the first pitch to Christina Burkhart is high for ball 1. Burkhart, the redshirt sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Her sister played at Purdue, had a successful 4-year career there. Also went to the same high school as Bengals tight end Tyler Eifert. She swings through the 1-0 for strike 1.
It's a pretty good nugget, my friend.
Yeah.
1 for 3 in the last game, in game 1 today.
Burkhart batting .311 on the year, has been a solid number 2 hitter, and is also second in the ACC in triples with 6. So a lot of speed out there. Eberly ready to go with the 1-1. Fires, fouled back over the stands. And now 2 strikes on number 10 here for UNC. Eberly giving up the 3 runs yesterday. Only one of them earned a couple of errors, forced her to give up those 3, but looking to bounce back today with a win. The 1-2 high and away. Lauder jumping to get it. Almost let that go to the backstop. Nobody on though, so would not have made a difference. Now a 2-2 count. Eberly getting signals from the dugout. Burkhart has the bat in the strike zone. She'll pull back. The 2-2, strike 3 called. A little bit of a pause there from home plate umpire Liz Hammerschmidt, but she pulls back and calls strike 3 on Burkhart, and Eberly now has 2 quick outs to start the top of the first.
Eberly gets the inside part of the plate there to work for her, and it seems to help her out as she gets her first strike of the day.
Squaring to bunt here is Kiani Ramsey. She won't get it, and that'll be strike 1. Ramsey, the center fielder, senior from Portland, Texas, spent her first 2 seasons at Texas Tech, was an all Big 12 second team as a freshman, coming over to the ACC as a junior to play for the Tar Heels. The 0-1 here from Eberly. Thought about it, watches ball 1. Ramsey on Saturday, 1 of 3 with an RBI and 2 runs scored, a big part in their win. She'll watch ball 2 up above the letters, and now a 2-1 count.
Earlier today, she went 0 for 3 in game 1 today.
Ramsey, the senior, gets on base well, and we've mentioned this a lot today. Not a lot of power in this lineup, and Ramsey, an example of that, just 1 home run. She'll hit this one on the ground to Banks at second, up with it, and the throw to Bailey is in time for out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning for Carrie Eberly. And no runs, no hits, no errors. We will head to the bottom of the first where the Hokies will get their first cuts of the game. We'll be back. Welcome back to Tech Softball Park, where the Hokies and the Tar Heels are tied at 0, still scoreless here in the bottom of the first. The Hokies winning the first game 5-0. And in the circle for the Tar Heels to start this game, Hannah George. We expected to see Brittany Pickett again, but George, impressive in her 2 innings of work in the first game. 2 innings, no hits, 2 walks, and no runs.
I think if you're head coach, Donna Papa, you want Brittany Pickett confidence might have got rattled a little bit, giving up 5 runs. Had a lot of pitches, so you definitely don't want to throw her out here again. George looked good against the Hokies in the last game.
Hannah George, first pitch, a little high to the leadoff hitter, Jamie Bailey, stepping in, playing first base today. Bailey on the season batting .414. Has 6 home runs on the year, so can really do it all for the Hokies. She'll hit this one foul, dribbles it back towards the on-deck circle. Darby Troll will flip it back to the catcher, and now we have an even 1-1 count. Hannah George, I said this in the last game, has really improved throughout the year. 3 straight wins entering this series and allowed just 2 runs in those 19 innings, as Bailey will hit this one down the third base line, foul.
Bailey 2 for 3 in game 1, was able to get on with a walk as well as score. So definitely had a pretty good game in game 1, is feeling confident as she heads up to the plate here in game 2.
She pulled that one hard down the line. Would have been extra bases had it stayed fair, just a couple feet foul. Now a 1-2 count. Here comes George inside for ball number 2, and we are back even. And the Hokies picking up their 40th win of the season in the first game. 40-7 on the year is the best start in school history. What a great first season for Pete Demore. The 2-2. Bailey thought about it. Outside, holds back, and now a full count. And Pete Demore was telling me on Thursday that this has been a dreamlike season for him personally. It's just so much chemistry on this roster, and obviously winning 40 games, it's not going to hurt either. So full count here. No one on, no one out. And ball 4 here to Bailey. Hannah George loses her there after getting ahead.
And the one thing that Hannah George did struggle with in game 1 was not being able to find the strike zone. Had 2 walks, just to put it in her 2 innings, to put it in perspective. Brittany Pickett had 2 for her 4 innings of work. So it's going to be important for George to find the strike zone early in this game and make sure she doesn't get have many people on base.
Darby Troll will square to bunt on the first pitch, pulls back, and that'll be ball number 1.
Darby Troll, of course, kind of put the game away with her solo shot in the last game. That was her 7th home run on the season.
Troll took the first pitch from Brittany Pickett, also Pickett's last pitch of the outing, out to left field as she watches strike 1 on the outside corner.
That was in the 5th inning. So it's going to be interesting to see. All these batters actually just had faced George in game 1, so they kind of already have a sense of who she is and how she likes to pitch.
Squares to bunt. This one will be fouled back into the catcher, Dre. So now 2 strikes quickly on Darby Troll.
And if she tries to bunt here, she needs to be very careful because obviously if she bunts on 2 strikes and it goes foul, she will be out.
On deck, Caitlin Nolan, like we were mentioning, the teeth of this order, the 3, 4, 5 hitters. And the Hokies would like to have them come up with 2 on and none out. We'll see what Darby Troll does here. She'll slap this one into right field, a base hit. And Jamie Bailey will advance to second. She'll hold up there. And now the announcer's jinx doesn't work there. A base hit, 2 on, none out, and Caitlin Nolan will step in.
Well, maybe it's over with after the first game. You got enough out of it where the sport announcer gods decided to give you a break there.
Yeah, 2 announcers jinxed for me in the first game. That one, they didn't get me.
So Jake's feeling great, folks, as we head up for the power of this lineup.
Caitlin Nolan, the senior, hits the first pitch towards the Hokies dugout. Foul ball.
Head coach Pete DeMore showing off his shortstop skills there. Was able to field that ball pretty nice off the net.
Hannah George checking the matrix she has on that wristband on her left arm.
So the matrix does exist.
Foul ball into the stands. It'll avoid hitting any of the fans out there.
Actually fell into the little gap where the stairs are, or the ramp, I should say.
So Hannah George getting ahead once again. Up 0-2, has had all 3 hitters she's faced so far in 2 strike counts. So far, no outs. The 0-2 to Nolan. That's going to be a little bit high, ball 1. And Nolan, obviously one of the better hitters on this team, but struggled in the last game. Couldn't show off the power that she usually has. She'll watch ball 2 inside.
And it appears George is mainly missing high. Maybe something she's letting the ball go too late and it's sailing on her. She's just trying to get that rise fastball to settle a little bit more.
So 2-2, even count. Runners on first and second, no outs. Hit down the third base line, foul. Hit it hard.
That got a nice loud ooh out of the Virginia Tech fans here because they sensed that could have been a lot if it hit off the wall.
Hit hard, a loud foul ball, and now still a 2-2 count. Hannah George trying to finally put away a hitter. She won't there. Ball just a little bit outside, and we are back full.
And this is a pivotal moment for both teams. You have 2 runners on with no outs and the teeth of the Virginia Tech lineup. And if you're Hannah George, you're just doing your best to survive as best you can and not let the Hokies do too much damage.
Caitlin Nolan has a chance here. She'll foul this one back and stay alive once again. A great at-bat for the Hokies shortstop.
Shout out to the fan who almost made the catch, barehanded, but was unable to do so, but still able to collect and turn the ball in for a tropical smoothie gift card. So that sounds like fun.
Full count once again. Swing and a miss.
Big strikeout there by George, a much-needed strikeout, but unfortunately it doesn't get any easier with the next 2 batters.
Caitlin Nolan way out in front of the 3-2 pitch. And a big first out. The runners will stay where they are, and Hannah George, getting ahead of hitters, has almost lost all 3 of them, able to finally get the out there. That'll bring in the senior, Emma Strouth. She'll hit this one on the ground to third base. Tags third, across the diamond, a double play. Berlin De La Mora gets the ground ball at third base, tags it, and throws across to Hutcherson for out number 3. So the Hokies look to be threatening 2 on, none out after the walk and the hit. But instead, nobody comes home. We're still scoreless here at Tech Softball Park. We'll be back. This is 3304 Sports. Welcome back to Tech Softball Park. Carrie Eberly ready to go for her second inning of work. And the pitcher from earlier today, Brittany Pickett, will step in. She's the designated player in this game.
It's interesting they don't call the DH like it would be in baseball. They call him the designated player because unlike in baseball where only the DH can hit for the pitcher, the designated player can hit for anyone. So
First pitch from Eberly swung through by Brittany Pickett. Here comes the 0-1. That one's just a little bit high.
and of course Pickett's hitting for Abby Settlemeyer, the shortstop, the freshman for the Tar Heels.
Brittany Pickett, a very long list of accolades since she came to UNC. All ACC first team and ACC all-tournament team in both her years on the Tar Heels as she watches strike 2 on the outside corner. She was also the ACC Freshman of the Year in 2017, so a star here for the Tar Heels who can do it as a hitter and in the circle.
Definitely, you gotta love her consistency from head coach Donna Papa to rely on your pitcher, your ace, as much as she does.
Eberly comes with the 1-2. It's going to be outside, and Pickett will even the count back up at 2s. Infield playing deep. Jamie Bailey almost to the outfield grass at first base, hugging the line a little bit. And both the middle infielders, Nolan and Banks, playing in the grass. As Pickett will foul this one back, stay alive, and keep the count at 2-2. Pretty easy inning of work for Carrie Eberly in the first inning. Pickett making her work for this first out in the second. Eberly looking into Lauder, ready to go here. The 2-2 pitch, down and away in the dirt, and a good battle here as Pickett will bring the count to full. Eberly would like to keep the leadoff hitter off base. Full count, and that's inside as Pickett will take first base.
Great at bat there by Pickett. Was down 0-2 and is able to fight back and get the walk.
And we'll see a pinch runner. We saw this earlier when Pickett got on base in the first game. Donna Papa doesn't like to have her ace pitcher running the bases out there.
23, I believe. A synonymous number with the University of North Carolina.
Michael Jordan playing for the North Carolina basketball team back in the day.
Correction, it's 29.
Abby Settlemeyer playing shortstop today for the Tar Heels. She'll come in and pinch run.
So she's just suiting into her role. What she typically does is, because this is the designated player that's hitting for her. So it's kind of like if you had a friend hurt, you're playing stickball. Back in the day, you would have another friend just run for him. So and the guy would just hit. I've done that before.
First pitch to Dre is high and in for ball 1. It's like in kickball back in the day when you would have somebody, I believe the word was babysit for you, where they would kick and you would run for them. So a little bit of school ground play for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, definitely.
The 1-0 is fouled back, a bunt attempt from Dre.
I'm a 4th grade kickball legend, I might add you.
Oh, I can tell. I know you've got the big leg.
I'd play cleanup.
I was more of a leadoff hitter. I like to just
I'm just not fast, so all I could do is try to kick it as far as I could.
The wind picking up here. 1-1 count to Dre. Eberly ready to go. Hit high, out to center. Troll will camp under it, and that will be out number 1 here in the top of the second. And Settlemeyer will retreat back to first base. We'll have one on, one out for Berlin De La Mora,
who made a great play, arguably a run-saving play in the last inning, was able to do the 6 or 5, if I can count, if I know my baseball number or softball numbers right, the 5 unassisted, and then threw it onto first for the double play last half inning.
She'll step in here with Settlemeyer on first. Swings and a miss. Looked like she was just swinging for the heck of it. The steal was on, and she is out at second. A good throw from Mackenzie Lauder.
They had her by a mile. I don't think Settlemeyer got a good jump off the ball at all. They had her dead to rights.
And you'll see sometimes when the runner on first is stealing, the batter will swing no matter what just to try and get in the catcher's way, and that seemed like what was on there is De La Mora. Not a lot of oomph in her swing there, just kind of a token swing. And the 0-1 is going to be in there on the outside third. Now an 0-2 count, and Eberly with the chance to get out of this inning. Gave up the leadoff walk to Pickett. A fly ball to center and a caught stealing has kept it scoreless here. And now nobody on, 2 outs for De La Mora. She'll watch ball 1 high and away.
She can get her here. Technically, it's still 3 up, 3 down. It's just she allowed the walk.
Still no hits for the Tar Heels. 0-0 our score in the top of the second. The Hokies in the bottom of the first got 2 on with none out, but a strikeout and double play ended the threat. The 1-2 fouled off the foot of De La Mora, and she's down in pain.
That cannot be comfortable. Not something fun to do. I remember back in my Little League days just getting a line ball to my foot, a ground ball to my foot. Of course, I had to, by rule, I was out, but that was not fun, let alone a foul ball to the foot.
The umpire will give her a second to sit outside the batter's box, and
the athletic trainer comes out, or should I say the first base coach comes out, talks to her for a sec. She appears to be good. Tells coach she's okay. Looks at the sign from head coach Donna Papa, and now is calling for time and is ready to get back in there.
And De La Mora, a tough hitter. She leads the team in hit by pitches, 3rd in the ACC, and she'll foul that one off herself again.
And she gives herself a little bit of a laugh there. Maybe she's a ball magnet, the way it's looking like it.
It seems like it. When you get hit by a pitch as much as she does, she's been hit 11 times on the year.
That's insane. Well, hey, you get on base.
It's true. You get first base there. And De La Mora been hit twice in this at-bat, but neither coming from Carrie Eberly. Both fouled off. Now the 1-2 once again. That's strike 3 on the outside corner. De La Mora going down looking to end the top of the second. Still scoreless here in Blacksburg. The Hokies coming up when we come back on 3304 Sports. Welcome back to Tech Softball Park. Still a scoreless game here in Game 2 of our doubleheader. The Hokies and the Tar Heels facing off. Top 2 teams in ACC softball right now. And the Hokies can clinch the ACC Coastal with a win here.
Yeah, and the Hokies had runners at first and second, but fell into the double play in that last half inning. It was a great chance to get some runs on the board, but were unable to do so.
Emma Strouth grounding into that double play. Kelsey Bennett will step in and fly this one out to shallow right field. Brought in there by Burkhart. And that's a quick out number 1 for Hannah George on the mound. So another great job by George to get through the heart of the Hokies lineup. That 3-4-5 stretch, we've talked about it a lot today, but it is that good. They each have double-digit home runs on the year, and they were impressive against Brittany Pickett. Hannah George has seemed to silence them. Velasquez will come up and slap this one foul down the third baseline.
The wind is picking up here. My papers are flying everywhere. It's just it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the ball in the outfield today.
Wind blowing out to right field, it looks like. The American flag out in the left. Stretched almost all the way out. Velasquez will foul the second pitch back as well into the stands, and now 0-2 to Al Velasquez. Velasquez 3rd on the team in strikeouts. She had a couple in the last game. She'll hit this one out to third base. De La Mora right there for it. And a pop out there from Velasquez. Looked like she just got it off the handle. And Lauren Duff coming in. She didn't play in the first game, getting her first at-bat of the day.
but she's had chances where she can show her power. She's actually hit out of her 3 home runs, 2 came in one game against JMU.
That was the 12-0 victory over James Madison last week. The same game where Keely Rochard threw the perfect game. First pitch was a ball. Here comes the 1-0. Looked like it was close on that outside corner, but a ball according to home plate umpire Liz Hammerschmidt.
I'm assuming it might have been too low. That's kind of what it looked like.
Just below the knees. Here comes the 2-0 from George. Hit on the ground. Settlemeyer up with it. Throws. Hutcherson has it, and that is out number 3. So a quick inning there for Hannah George. We had 2 shutouts in the first 2 games. The Hokies being shut out on Saturday. Earlier today, the Tar Heels being shut out. Looks like both teams want to be shut out in this one. Still scoreless. We'll head to the top of the 3rd after this on 3304 Sports. We're back here at Tech Softball Park. The Hokies and the Tar Heels tied up at 0. Scoreless here. And Carrie Eberly on the mound, and Hannah George, who is stepping into the box right now. A big part of that, 2 great pitching performances here early. George will pop up the first pitch from Eberly. Banks camped under it at second. She will bring it in. We've seen a lot of first pitch outs here. Hitters being aggressive early in the count. Hasn't worked out for them yet.
Yeah, but that's what we talked about pregame was they need to, because that's where they've been advantaged is getting attacking early in the count.
Campbell Hutcherson, the first baseman, will come in to face Carrie Eberly. She'll check her swing there. Doesn't matter. It's a strike anyway on the outside corner.
Just got the clip of the outside corner, and Ellerby looks just to be locked in. Both pitchers do, but Ellerby looks to be locked in and has just pitched well this weekend despite getting the loss in the first game.
Hutcherson will watch the 0-1 down and away, evening the count back up at 1. Hutcherson 0 for her last 10 at the plate. 0 for 8 entering today, was 0 for 2 in the last game. She was pinch hit for once by Zoe Goodman, re-entered for her last at-bat. She'll pop this one up to Strouth in left, right at her, and out number 2.
And Ellerby's doing a great job of just doing quick innings and not getting much work. Only has 28 pitches through the first 3 innings. So keeping her average to about 10 pitches per inning is pretty good.
And outside of the bottom of the first, pretty much every half inning has been relatively quick. 3 up, 3 down in most cases. And Eberly continuing that trend here with 2 straight outs to start the top of the 3rd. And she'll start off Destiny DeBerry with a strike on the outside corner. DeBerry was all ACC second team last year. She hit .342 in her junior season, has fallen off a little bit as a senior, hitting just .280 and 4 RBIs on the year. She'll square to bunt, will pull back in time and watch ball number 1 down and away.
DeBerry, who bats left but actually throws right, adds this heavy left-handed lineup that the North Carolina Tar Heels have.
Count even at 1. The Hokie infield playing a little bit in here. Here comes the pitch. Popped up on the infield. Nolan calls off everybody else. She'll bring it in with one hand. And the Hokies with 3 straight 3 up, 3 down innings. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. Still scoreless here in Blacksburg. Hokies and Tar Heels scoreless in the rubber match of this 3-game series between the top 2 teams in the ACC. We head to the bottom of the 3rd, where Hannah George will face Mackenzie Lauder, Maddie Banks, and then we'll head back to the top of the lineup with Jamie Bailey.
Only 1 hit on both sides today, so pretty interesting to see just these pitchers locked in very early on.
Lauder 1 for 3 in the first game. 2 strikeouts, though. She'll shoot this one down the first base line. It is foul. Just a couple inches from hitting that chalk down the first base line. Instead, just strike one to the catcher Lauder.
Assistant coach Kieran Kumar was trying to sell that as best she can to home plate umpire Liz Hammersmith. That was a fair ball because she was seeing extra base hits.
Kumar pointing towards the infield, signaling it was fair, but Liz Hammersmith not agreeing there, throwing her hands up, calling it foul. Pitch inside, almost getting Lauder around the ankles. It'll miss and be ball one. Lauder with 8 home runs on the season. Another one of the powerful hitters in this Hokie lineup. She'll foul that one back into the netting behind home plate. And now a 1-2 count to the catcher.
Another young player on this team, just a sophomore. Think about how this is. Just in this lineup today, and Lauren Duff was not even, this is her first appearance in this series, is they're playing 3 seniors. So a young team here at Virginia Tech, so if as a fan, you have to feel hopeful.
Lauder hits this one on the ground to first. Up with it will be Hutcherson. She will be able to get it and run over to first base for out number 1.
Close play there, but a great play by Hutchinson just to get onto the bag in time.
That'll bring up Maddie Banks. She had a good, solid game in her first appearance earlier today. Went 2 of 3 with an RBI. She had an error early in the game, but made up with it with her bat. She'll slap that one down the third base line and foul. Banks, we mentioned, had speed. Entering today, had not been caught stealing 11 of 11, but of course, my announcer drinks got her first caught stealing of the year. Thrown out trying to steal second.
It just shows how great you are, Jake.
Thank you, Trey. The 0-1 looked good, but a ball just inside to Banks, evening the count back up at 1. Maddie Banks, the freshman from Iowa, played softball, basketball, and ran track in high school. She'll hit this one on the ground to third to De La Mora. Up and across the diamond to Hutcherson for out number 2. And Hannah George continues to look solid today. 2 hitless innings in the first game, and now through 2 2/3, just 1 hit and no runs. But that will bring up the top of the lineup, Jamie Bailey stepping in. Bailey, we were talking about her earlier, had 2 hits in the first game in her first 2 at-bats. She'll watch ball 1 high. Her first hit, a blooper down the first base line, just hitting it the other way, getting it down in fair territory. And then the second one hit it hard into left field, so can use all of the field. She'll hit this one down the third base line off of De La Mora and fair. It'll roll towards the corner. She's going for second. The throw, not in time. Jamie Bailey slides in safe with a double. And the Hokies have a chance here with 2 outs.
And just a hot, and there's a reason they call third base the hot corner there, as De La Mora gets the error on that play, is not able to control that ball, bounces off her glove and goes basically into the wall, where that allows Bailey to get to second in scoring position with 2 outs.
Surprised they gave her the error there. A hard hit ball down the third base line just tipped off her glove. Darby Troll will step in and foul this one down the first base line, just foul.
But if you are Del Mora, you got to, as best you can, make that play, because it went right to you. I understand it's coming in quick, but you got to try to get that in your glove as best you can.
So Jamie Bailey on second after the error. Darby Troll, the person that Pete DeMore would want in there, the sophomore, led the team in batting average entering today. She'll watch ball 1 just away. She's
currently hitting .407, so pretty impressive. Actually improved that with her first hit of today, earlier today, .417.
She'll watch ball 2.
And just to have your 2 hitters hit over 400 with the power that this lineup provides is just so impressive.
The Hokies up there, 5th in the country in batting average, and like you mentioned, 3rd in home runs and 3rd in slugging, as Troll will hit this one into left center. Ranging back is DeBerry. She'll have it, and that will be out number 3. Still scoreless here at Tech Softball Park for 3304 Sports. I'm Jake Lyman alongside Trey Lyle, and we will be back for the top of the fourth. Still scoreless here at Tech Softball Park as we start the fourth inning. And Carrie Eberly has faced the minimum as we start the fourth, and the leadoff hitter, Leah Murray, will step into the box for the second time. She'll hit this one up the middle and extending the hitting streak once again.
15. That's impressive. Ball gets away.
It's going to be not in time. A bad throw there in center from Darby Troll. Going to tip off the glove of Caitlin Nolan and allow Leah Murray to use her speed and get to second, but she seems to be in pain after the slide.
Not just a hit, but an uncostly error by the Hokies to get a runner in scoring position with no outs. And in a game like this, where runs are going to come few and far between, you need to be sound defensively.
And Leah Murray, we mentioned in the first game, picking up her 100th steal of her career here at North Carolina. The record is 102, so they're glad she can stay in the game here after a tough slide into second. Having that speed is always going to be important. And that'll bring in Christina Burkhart.
0 for 1 today.
Struck out looking in her first at-bat. The infield playing in against Burkhart. Eberly ready to go after giving up her first hit of the day. Bunt. Unable to get it down there.
It seems that UNC's looking sacrifice.
And Donna Papa wants a second to talk with Burkhart before the 0-1 pitch. And it seems like the strategy here, the bunt coverage for Virginia Tech, they're going to have the corners crashing Bennett and Bailey, and then Banks and Nolan will spread out. Banks covering first and Nolan running over to cover third. Burkhart ready to go. The 0-1 count. Eberly winds and fires. Bunt once again, pulls back, and that's going to be ball number one, just a little bit outside there to the two-hitter Burkhart. Burkhart hitting .308 on the season, 25 RBIs. Would like to add a 26th here, although the bunt would probably not be the way to do that. Here comes the 1-1. No bunt this time. Hit down the third base line and foul into the Hokie bullpen.
And now the good news is the Hokies defense can sort of reset because with 2 strikes, it's going to be hard to lay down a bunt clean and hope that it will stay fair.
1-2. Expect Burkhart to be swinging.
She shows bunt, though.
Does show bunt. We've seen UNC try and slash a lot today. She'll pull back. She will. And hit this one into center field. Darby Troll going back. She'll bring it in at the warning track, but tagging up is Murray. She'll get to third base.
Great a bat there by Burkhart, able to get, we'll say that's 219 feet. It almost got over the center field wall out there, but enough to get Murray over to third. And now with only 1 out and you have a runner at third, a prime position for North Carolina to get the lead of the game.
And this is who you want in there, Kiani Ramsey, batting .368 on the season, and a good chance to bring in the runner from third. She'll foul this one back. Check swing, but got it and sends it back to the backstop. And Ramsey has been even better against right-handed pitchers, Eberly being one, batting .377 on the year against righties. Grounded out to Maddie Banks, the second baseman in the first inning. Running up there, watching ball number one, now a 1-1 count. Leah Murray with speed on first, so pretty much you would assume anything to the middle of the field would get her in. Corners are playing in though, looking to stop the run from scoring from third. Popped up down the left field line. Looks like it's going to get out of play, and it will. Into the bullpen, foul.
And if you're Eberly, if you can get this strikeout here and get to 2 strikes, your defense can kind of reset with their focus, just getting the out that's at hand.
A strikeout would be huge here for Eberly. Eberly hasn't been the strikeout leader for the Hokies. Rochard, who we saw in the first game, has actually struck out more players in less innings, but Eberly can do it if she wants to. There's ball 2, down and away, evening the count back up at 2s. Eberly leading the conference in innings pitched entering today. I believe Brittany Pickett overtook her in the first game, but all Eberly will need to do is pitch 1/3 of an inning more than Pickett to reclaim that lead. Slapped up the middle, and Kiani Ramsey, that'll go to the wall. She's going for 2. Troll gets it, hits the cutoff man. Ramsey going for 3. The throw from Banks is wild towards the Hokie bullpen, and Ramsey into third with a triple.
What an at-bat there by Ramsey.
And Leah Murray coming in to score from third.
And the Carolina gets their first lead of the game. And the way Hannah George has been pitching, that might be all they need.
1-0. And Mackenzie Lauder wants to go talk to Carrie Eberly as Brittany Pickett will step into the box. And she is a dangerous hitter, as we've seen. 5 home runs on the year. And now with a runner on third and 1 out, a fly ball here would almost certainly extend this lead to 2 for North Carolina.
Pickett walked in her first at-bat.
Here comes the pitch for Eberly. And that'll be ball 1. High and in to Pickett. So Carrie Eberly giving up the triple. Second hit of the inning for UNC. She'll hit strike number 1 on Brittany Pickett on the outside corner there. Now a 1-1 count to the pitcher from game 1. Corners for Virginia Tech playing even with the bags. Maddie Banks playing out in shallow right field. Here comes the 1-1, high and away. And now a 2-1 count to Pickett. We've seen in this series, one team has gotten shut out in the first 2 games, and if that trend holds, it's not looking good for the Hokies. And Pickett will send this one out to right field, off the scoreboard, and gone. Brittany Pickett gave up 5 runs in game 1, but coming up huge with her bat in game 2. Her 6th home run of the season. That gives her the lead on the team. You don't see a lot of power from North Carolina often, but you see it there. And now North Carolina has a 3-run lead after that 2-run shot by Brittany Pickett.
And what a swing by Pickett. Hits off the scoreboard here at Tech Softball Park, and she just absolutely crushed it. And that gives 3 runs here now for the Tar Heels. And if you look at the game yesterday, that's all the Tar Heels needed to win, was 3.
Eberly usually so good for Virginia Tech, giving up 3 runs in both outings in this series, as Dre will step in and foul off the first pitch. Megan Dre, the sophomore from just up the road in Lynchburg, Virginia, has an 0-1 count to her. Here comes Eberly. That's going to be ball number 1 into the the left-handed batter's box. Megan Dre holds a VHSL single-season record with 12 doubles in her sophomore season in high school.
Of course, Dre from Lynchburg, Virginia.
The 1-1 pitch down and in. Eberly falling behind now. Eberly just doesn't seem to have it in this inning. Looked very good through the first 3, facing the minimum. Just 9 hitters, giving up a walk. But nothing going here for her, nothing going right for her in this inning. Just 1 out and 3 runs already in. Dre will watch strike 2 on the outside third. Count even once again at 2-2. The middle infielders playing in the outfield grass, respecting the power of Megan Dre. She has 5 home runs, came into the game tied for the lead. She'll shoot this one into the hole in left field. No one will come up with it. No play there, though. Megan Dre reaching on an infield single.
And the UNC fan contingent here is feeling excited as we'll have a pinch runner come on here for Dre.
And we mentioned that if Virginia Tech was to win this game, they would clinch the ACC Coastal. If the Tar Heels win, they would cut the lead back to 2 games with 3 to play. So the Hokies still a strong hold on this division after winning the first game of this doubleheader, but you'd think they like to get rid of it now.
Yeah,
instead of having to worry about Boston College.
With Carolina holding the tiebreaker would hold the tiebreaker if they go on to win this game.
Eberly will now face De La Mora. Struck out looking in her first at-bat, but this time she'll hit it on the ground into left field. Another base hit for North Carolina. And now runners on first and second and 1 out. They seem to have keyed in on what Eberly's doing on the mound.
Pitching coach for Virginia Tech is going to have a visit with her junior.
Doug Gillis coming out. He has been with Pete DeMore for a while, was with him at Kennesaw State, following him here. He's been crucial to the development of Eberly and Rochard in the circle. And speaking of Rochard, over in the Tech bullpen, we can see her getting loose. Had a great performance, a 2-hit shutout earlier today, and it looks like Pete DeMore may need her to do a little bit more work with Eberly struggling in the 4th.
Now they have the trainer coming out to look at Ellerby's hand.
And that would explain some of the issues she's been having.
Could be a splinter, anything with the fingers. It looks like her pinky finger they're checking out. Now here comes Pete DeMore.
Rochard looking over from the bullpen. Looks like she may need to be ready to go quicker than she imagined, as Eberly looks to have an issue with that throwing hand.
And on deck or up after this break is going to be Hannah George, and as a pitcher coming back in with a 3-run lead, you got to feel good, and you can even do some damage and maybe to extend it.
You can help out your own cause here with an RBI. Extending this lead even more, the way Hannah George has pitched today would be crucial. Three innings in this game, 2 innings in the last game, 5 total. Still no runs against Hannah George in the circle. So we're ready to go again. Eberly's going to stay out there despite the issue she was having with that hand. And she'll face Hannah George with 1 out and 2 on. Tar Heels leading 3-0. And swings through strike 1. Eberly maybe just needed to calm down, talk to her coach, maybe get checked on a little bit. A good pitch there to start off the at-bat.
And if you're Eberly, your goal is just to get out of this inning with no more runs allowed and control the damage that's already been committed.
Sails that one a little bit high. Now 1-1. Hannah George on the season batting .234, 21 RBIs and 3 home runs. Like we mentioned earlier, her and Brittany Pickett get it done in the circle and in the batter's box. She'll swing through a high third pitch from Eberly. That one would have been a ball had she held back. Instead, a 1-2 count. Eberly getting her to chase. George, the freshman from Columbus, Georgia, just on the border with Alabama. Here comes the 1-2. That one's high again, trying to get her to chase. George able to watch it that time, and the count is back even at 2-2. Runners on first and second. Corner, Jamie Bailey playing in. Kelsey Bennett at third, playing further back. Here comes the 2-2, hit on the ground. Charging is Eberly, and she drops it. Eberly had it in her glove, couldn't get it out into her throwing hand and make the play over to first. So Hannah George will reach, and now the bases are loaded.
And it appears we'll have a conference among the Carolina coaches. Possibly maybe a pinch runner.
One of the assistant coaches running over to say something to Liz Hammer. It looks like some sort of change. You would assume Hannah George is coming out. Don't want to risk your pitcher.
Actually, he appears to be a pinch hitter.
Okay, a pinch hitter. So Hutcherson will sit down. Maybe we see Zoe Goodman again. She came in and hit for Hutcherson in the first game.
Or the designated player.
Settlemeyer.
No, from the last game, Lexi Godwin.
No,
we'll have
a pinch runner.
It's actually a double
It's
change.
Both. So coming in, Taylor Putz going to first base to run for Hannah George, and Zoe Goodman coming in once again to hit.
Way to call it, my friend.
They did it in the first game.
Well, Lexi Godwin was the designated player in the last game, too, so that's another option on the Carolina bench.
Goodman has the bat in the strike zone.
Do we see a suicide squeeze?
Watches strike one on the inside corner, pulled back. I don't know if you see too many suicide squeezes in softball.
Yeah, I think with the bases loaded, it's kind of hard because all you have to do is touch home. But infield is in, trying to get the play at the plate.
0-1 count here to Goodman. Hit it down the third base line and fair. Hit the bag into the corner. 1 run scores. 2 run score. Rounding third. And nobody else will score. A double there for Zoe Goodman. And a good change by Donna Papa to bring her in.
And this game has now been broken wide open as the Tar Heels now get their 5th run in this inning, all with 1 out. And if your head coach, Pete DeMore, how long do you keep your junior pitcher out there? And we'll have another pitch runner come in.
This has to be discouraging for Carrie Eberly. 2 straight appearances against this Tar Heels team. They just seem to have her number. Looks like another change coming here. Keely Rochard coming in from the bullpen. So Carrie Eberly's day is done, giving up 5 runs in the 4th inning after facing the minimum through 3. Just a tough outing here. Rochard will come in with runners on second and third and still just 1 out. So she gets the first out of the inning and really just couldn't get anything else after that. A triple from Kiani Ramsey started off the scoring, and since then has not been able to retire any of the batters she has faced. We're going to take a break here as Keely Rochard is getting ready to go. We'll see her face. It looks like there's going to be a change, and Lexi Godwin will step in. We'll see that matchup after the break. Welcome back to Tech Softball Park. Keely Rochard finally ready to go in the circle. Runners on second and third, she'll inherit those from Eberly. And Lexi Godwin pinch hitting here for Destiny DeBerry. Looking to bring home 2 more. Swings through the first pitch from Rochard. Rochard had the 2-hit shutout in the first game, getting the Hokies their 40th win. Now trying to limit the damage here. The Hokies trailing 5-0 in the 4th inning. All of those runs coming in this top of the 4th. Rochard's second pitch swung through once again.
And if you're Rochard, that's a perfect way to start. 2 pitches, 2 strikes.
Keely Rochard has really been impressive today. And Eberly's the one who gets a lot of the attention with the 22-4 record and the top ACC ERA, but Rochard has been just as impressive this year, the sophomore out of Williamsburg. The 0-2 is high. Rochard 17-3 on the year, a sub-2 ERA.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Hokies attack the plate in the bottom of the inning. You were last time you were up, you were tied at 0, and now you're going to be back down 5. So it'll be interesting to see when they get to the bottom of the 4th what's going to happen.
Here comes the 1-2, hit out to left, over the head of Emma Strouth. 1 run will score, another will score, and Godwin will get in at second with the double.
The announcer jinx is back on because I said they would end with 5, and they go to 7.
Now 7-0 Tar Heels as Godwin is on second.
And DeBerry will come out and pinch run. So a lot of subs coming in from head coach Donna Papa, not afraid to use her bench, and it seems to be effective.
She's brought in 2 pinch hitters in a row, both of them doubling down that left field line. Strouth almost able to make a fantastic play, but instead it will be a double, the 7th hit of the inning for the Tar Heels. And now Leah Murray will step in. She singled her last time up. She'll bunt here. Rochard up with it. Fires to Banks at first, and finally out number 2. And wait, there is going to be, it looks like they're going to call it a foul. No, she was out of the box.
Called her out of the box, so she will be out there, and then DeBerry does not get to advance. So kind of a break for the Hokies there, but 7 runs in between outs is not a good thing.
A big mistake there from Leah Murray. Could extend this lead to 8, but instead a second out there, and now Christina Burkhart will face Keely Rochard, and she watches ball 1 inside.
Burkhart was one of the few batters that actually, one of 2 batters that got a hit against Rochard in the in game 1 today.
She's 0 of 2 with a strikeout so far today. Her first time facing Rochard in this game, though. Strike 1 on the outside corner evens the count back up at 1. And Rochard still no earned runs today. Both of those runs allowed on the last double will be attributed to Eberly.
So Eberly's final stat line is going to be 3 1/3 with 7 earned runs. Not the outing that you hope for from your junior pitcher, if you're Pete Demore, in a game like this.
The 1-1 pitch is high. Now 2-1 to Burkhart. Runner on second. 2 outs. She'll hit this one on the ground. Nolan fires across. Bailey stretches and makes the play. What a play by the first baseman, Jamie Bailey. Stretches and picks it out of the dirt to finally end the inning. So 7 runs come in for the Tar Heels on 7 hits. Carrie Eberly is chased out here in the 4th inning. The Hokies have some work to do when we come back. Welcome back to Blacksburg after that long top of the 4th where UNC scored 7 runs off Carrie Eberly. The Hokies finally getting another chance. Caitlin Nolan will step in, and if there's a place you want the lineup to be when you've just given up 7 runs, this is it.
3, 4, 5. Yes, you're exactly right, Jake. Hopefully this is the run-producing part of this Virginia Tech Hokies lineup.
First pitch to Nolan is popped up. That one might get us. And that will bounce right in front of us, just a row, and foul ball.
I got you. I was ready.
I was protecting Trey in the first game. Trey has me in this one.
We're a team. We got each other's backs.
So an 0-1 count. And we said in the first game, as Caitlin Nolan will hit this one out to left, ranging back is DeBerry in a great play. She'll bring it in for out number 1. And we were mentioning that when the Tar Heels fell behind 5-0 in the first game, it would be tough for them to come back because they rely so much on manufactured runs where it's just single after single. But the Hokies don't do it that way. Down 7-0, there's still a chance for them to get back.
Yeah, the long ball is a key for them, but still, 7 runs is a large hill to climb, but it would help to get a couple runs in this inning.
Emma Strouth will watch the first pitch from Hannah George low.
If the Hokies can just get a sense of back into this game, 3 to 4 runs maybe in this inning, where they're in striking distance would be big. But the way Hannah George is pitching, you just hope to get on base at this point.
Strouth watches the 1-0 ball once again. So 2-0 here to the 4-hitter for the Hokies. And the last time Strouth was up, she grounded into that double play to De La Mora. Kind of took the wind out of the Hokies. It looked like they had something going, and since then, really nothing at the plate.
Yeah, they had a lot of momentum from the first game, and it showed in that first inning. They get 2 runners on with no outs, then a strikeout, and then the double play.
3 balls now to Emma Strouth as the 2-0 is down and away into that left-handed batter's box. Here comes the 3-0. Inside once again, and George will put Strouth on with 1 out.
Another walk there for George, her second today, but she's definitely thrown a lot of balls here, and something that we'll see is her control. Can she keep it in the strike zone and able to produce strikeouts instead of walks?
So Strouth now on first, a 7-0 Tar Heels lead. And the first pitch to Kelsey Bennett will be a strike on the inside corner. Bennett in her first at-bat flew out to the right fielder. She'll get a chance here with 1 on and 1 out. Popped up. Center field. Ramsey coming in. She'll camp under it and bring it in for out number 2. So that's the 3rd time Hannah George has faced that 3-4-5 hitters today and still has
1 hit.
Done relatively well. 1 hit. She had the walk of Emma Strouth. Excuse me, no hits in that period.
Yeah.
Just the walk of Emma Strouth. She had the strikeout and the double play the last time through, and now has 2 outs, and we will see Al Velasquez. And she'll pop this one down the third base line. Foul just over the Virginia Tech bullpen. In her first at-bat, popped out to the third baseman, De La Mora. On the season, she is .257 with 2 outs, so hasn't been great in these situations as she watches ball 1 high and away. 1-1 count. Runner on first, 2 outs. The Tar Heels leading 7-0. And the 1-1 inside to Velasquez. So now getting ahead in the count. The Hokies could really use a run here in the bottom of the 4th. Do not want to put up a 4th straight 0. Strouth on first. Here comes the 2-1. That one's going to be a little bit low, and now 3-1 to Velasquez, a hitter's count.
Yeah, and if you're Velasquez, you have to take advantage of this. Find a pitch you like here. You can actually settle on a pitch with a pitch like that. You have some room to work with.
Ready for the 3-1. George fires. Inside, and that is the 2nd walk of the inning. Velasquez will take first. Strouth will advance to second. So a chance here now for the Hokies to get something going, and Lauren Duff will be the one that it relies on.
2 outs, 2 runners on. I think Lauren Duff, this is a key at bat for the Hokies just to get some sort of action. I think her goal is just to get on base and see what can happen.
Lauren Duff in 2016 was the school's first ACC Freshman of the Year as she watches ball 1 just off the outside corner. She was also All-ACC first team in 2016, has been put in a more limited role in 2018 with the influx of young talent the Hokies have had. She'll hit this one over the shortstop's head and into the gap. It'll go to the wall. Here comes Strouth. She'll score. Velasquez rounding third. She's going to try it. Here comes the throw. Not in time. Velasquez will score, and that will bring the score back to 7-2.
But Duff showing why she still relied on to be a designated player and show at bats a perfect time for a 2-run double. And you know what, Jake? We finally won't have a shutout in this series.
It's true. The first game, a 3-0 Tar Heels win. Earlier today, a 5-0 Hokies win. Now finally, both teams have runs on the board.
7-2, and it appears we'll have a change here for the Hokies as we'll have a pinch runner come on for Lauren Duff.
Number 19 coming in. That's Kinsey Johnson for Virginia Tech, the senior.
From Highland, Maryland. And now the catcher up, Mackenzie Lautler.
And Lauder, the sophomore from South Boston, Virginia.
And if you're Virginia Tech, that's what you needed right there from Duff, was just some runs to get somewhat back in this game. They closed the lead to 5, so going to be interesting to see how they can take advantage of this at bat.
And that's a foul ball sent straight back right next to us once again. And that knocked over a Coke bottle over there. So it seems like these players today, they don't like us very much.
Yeah, that surprised me. I thought it was going to hit the roof. I was looking at the roof, and then all of a sudden I saw green.
Lauder will foul the second pitch off down the first base line. That'll get out of the stadium. So with 2 outs, the Hokies able to bring in 2 runs. A huge at-bat from Duff brings in 2 runs. Now Lauder will pop it up. This one might stay in play. No, it'll get out. And we'll stay at 0-2. Mackenzie Lauder, the sophomore, her father played baseball at Longwood, was named the Virginia Player of the Year back in 1985. So,
some history.
Lauder family tradition playing baseball and softball.
Lauder from South Boston, Virginia, so very local to this area.
Watches ball 1. It gets away, and running from second is Johnson. She'll get in there on the wild pitch.
Megan Dre almost had the perfect kind of play for that high pitch. Bounces off the netting and was able to fire quickly, but the runner was able to get there still in time.
And the 1-2 is high once again. This time, Dre will be able to get it. So now, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. 2 runs already in for the Hokies, looking to get this lead back to 4. Kinsey Johnson standing on third. Lauder hits this one out to right. That one will go into the trees, and the Hokies have a 2-out rally. They score 4 here in the bottom of the 4th. Mackenzie Lauder, her 9th home run of the season. And now, 7 runs in the top of the inning, 4 in the bottom. The Hokies have cut the lead back to 3.
After pitcher duel and pitching, bats have come alive on both sides. Mackenzie Lautler hits the ball into right center field over the wall for the home run to make this lead cut to 3. And what did I tell you at the beginning of this half inning? If the Hokies can get 4 runs, they're going to feel really good going in. They've cut the lead to 3. They are in striking distance. And here's the thing. We're going to have a pinch hitter, it appears, number 20, Sierra Walton, the senior from Des Moines, Iowa. So we're going to see how if the Hokies can take advantage. And again, Megan George is not finding the zone that extended the count. She got it to 2 strikes, then threw 2 straight balls. It had to throw a hitter's pitch, and that's what happened.
And like you said, we talked about it. If there's a team that can get back from a 7-0 lead or 7-0 deficit, it's the Hokies. And Sierra Walton will watch the first pitch, a strike. Now an 0-1 count. Walton batting .216 on the season. Played 2 years at Indian Hills Community College as she'll foul the 0-1 off, now in a hole 0-2. Her father, Carlo, played basketball at Iowa State, an athletic family. She started 44 games for the Hokies a year ago, and just like Lauren Duff has kind of stepped back this year. She'll swing through the 0-2, strike 3. So the Hokies come back and put up 4 in the bottom of the 4th. We thought this game might be over. It's not. It's a 3-run game, and we will be back after this. Welcome back to Blacksburg. An impromptu Let's Go Hokies chant starting in between innings as the Hokies put up 4 runs in the bottom of the 4th, cutting the Tar Heel lead back to 3. 7-4 our score. Keely Rochard came in to relieve Carrie Eberly in the last inning, and she will start the top of the 5th facing Kiani Ramsey. Ramsey will watch ball 1, just a little bit outside. And Ramsey in her last at-bat with a triple brought in Leah Murray from third and started off the scoring for North Carolina.
Yeah, a big inning by the North Carolina Tar Heels, getting 7 runs. Had all the momentum until the Hokies, with a 4-run, 2-out rally, were able to get back into this game.
Ramsey will foul the 1-0 down the third base line and into the stands. And Rochard has been so good today. Still no earned runs through these 2 games. As Ramsey will watch the 1-1 in the dirt. Keely Rochard, the reigning ACC Pitcher of the Week, and also the National Pitcher of the Week, according to USA Softball. She's been recognized as the ACC Pitcher of the Week 3 times now, and makes sense when you have 3 no-hitters on the season. You're probably going to be the co-pitcher or the Pitcher of the Week
And it's
during that week.
pretty interesting to see some. I see some members of the Hokies wrestling team here in the crowd, supporting the efforts here by the Virginia Tech softball team.
Rochard fires the 2-1 past Ramsey to even the count up at 2-2. And that Hokies wrestling team, a great story. Makai Lewis, the freshman, winning a national championship.
And actually, he made a bet with his assistant coach Jared Frayer, who was a 2012 Olympian in London, that if he won the NCAA championship, that Frayer would have to come out of retirement in the upcoming next weekend, the U.S. Open. So it's going to be Air Frayer returning to the mats next weekend with the U.S. Open.
The 2-2 a ball. Rochard ready to go here against Ramsey. The full count. Ramsey will foul this one back and over the stands, keeping the count at 3-2. So probably when he made that bet, he probably expected that's not going to happen. He's a freshman, but Makai Lewis coming through, beating
Kai Lewis, he also won a junior gold medal, so he's a very talented young wrestler here. So interesting to see where his trajectory goes, because it's very hard to not beat first. So we'll see what he does next year.
Ramsey finally able to win the battle, getting Rochard to throw ball 4 up high, and she will get on first with no outs. And now that brings in Brittany Pickett. She had the home run. She crushed a ball off the scoreboard in her last at-bat. A big reason why the Tar Heels are leading by 3 right now as she watches ball 1 to start off the at-bat.
I will have to say the sun's been out pretty well throughout this game today. Some nice weather, a little on the cold side, especially up in our open booth, but we're hanging in there through 5. A little on the cold side, but feeling good as we have some great softball action today.
Rochard's 1-0 is away. Yeah, it's been a little bit chilly up here. Some wind blowing through. We've lost a couple papers, but it's always fun to call some softball here on this Easter Sunday as Rochard pumps the first strike past Pickett. Runner on first, no outs. Tar Heels leading 7-4 here in the top of the 5th.
And we might see Pickett on later to close out this game on the mound, but her bat has done pretty well today for the Tar Heels.
She watches ball 3, now a 3-1 count. You really don't want Pickett to be in a hitter's count because now she has the team lead in home run. She has that pop, that power to get it out of here. You don't want to have to groove her a fastball here. Here comes the 3-1 from Rochard. And Pickett will slap this one into right field. It'll get down in front of Velasquez. And going for third is Ramsey. The throw, not in time. Ramsey will get in at third. And now we have runners at the corners for the Tar Heels and still nobody out.
And if you're Keely Rochard, this is not how you wanted to start the inning, but you're going to do your best to control the damage. And honestly, this is the first time she has caused herself to have any sort of pressure in her 2 games. Of course, she came in with runners at second and third, but that was the doings of Carolee Eberly. But in the first game, she never was really threatened in terms of allowing a run, so it's going to be interesting to see what she does here.
Through the first game, really no high-pressure situations, no jam she had to get out of. Now, runners at the corners. Like you said, the last time she was in a jam, she inherited those runners from Eberly. We'll see how she does here. Dre takes the first pitch down the third base line. That'll drop just in front of Strouth, but foul. Strouth tried to make a play on it there, but it'll drop down and be strike one against the catcher. We got a little folk music playing here. Trey to my right, doing a little dance.
You got to stay loose. My legs are getting cold. I got to keep them warm. So staying loose is the key, and here we go.
The 0-1 pitch on the outside corner. A great off-speed pitch there from Eberly. And now way ahead. A strikeout would be huge.
Just to get an out is the key right now, and limit the damage as best you can.
Already trailing by three runs. The Hokies would like to keep it at 3.
And really, the Hokies have the momentum, so if they can get out of here, out of this jam as best they can, they might be able to even tie this game.
Rochard tries to get Dre to chase up above the letters. Doesn't get it there. Ball 1, now 1-2. Tar Heels leading 7-4. Runners at the corners and no one out. The 1-2 pitch is inside. So through the first 3 innings, we saw zeros on the scoreboard. Tar Heels and Hokies could not get anything going, and then both teams erupting in the 4th inning. 7 runs from the Tar Heels, 4 from the Hokies. Brittany Pickett had a home run for North Carolina. Mackenzie Lauder had one for the Hokies, and we sit here in a 3-run game. And now fighting back is Dre. Rochard throws the 3rd straight ball, and now the count is the count is full at 3-2. Keeley towing the rubber. Full count, nobody out. Here comes the pitch. Hit down the third base line. That's going to get foul once again. Off the wall there. Just a couple feet from being fair. Would have been a huge extra base hit for Dre. Possibly could have gotten 2 in. And interesting to see, we did not see Brittany Pickett get run for here. We've seen the pitchers get pulled out when they get on base pretty much all day here, but Pickett will stay at first. And strike 3 called against Dre. What a crucial strikeout from Keeley Rochard. Puts it on the inside corner. Dre goes down looking for the first out here in the 5th. And now, Trey, we're at a point where runners on first and third, not a lot of speed in the box or at first. Ground ball probably gets the Hokies out of this inning.
That's going to be interesting to see. If they can get the double play here, that would be huge.
Hit on the ground. No, excuse me. Line drive to third. Thrown back to first, but an error. 1 run will score. Pickett will advance to second. So Kelsey Bennett at the hot corner takes the hard line drive from De La Mora, gets the second out, tried to throw back to first to double off Pickett. Instead, throws it down the right field line, easily allowing Kiani Ramsey to score.
I don't know if Bennett should have made that play. I think Pickett would have got back in time despite the throw. So just really a costly error there for the Hokies. Now UNC pushes their lead 2-4.
An 8-4 game. Pickett now standing on second base. And Hannah George will step in and watch ball 1. Thought about it. Check swing there. Able to hold up. And now time called by Papa down the line. She wants to talk to her batter, Hannah George. And standing on second is Brittany Pickett, the starting pitcher from game 1, now at the plate. Hannah George, the starting pitcher from game 2. So we'll see if the Tar Heels can put their 2 lead pitchers together and get another run on the board here offensively.
Hannah George wears number 42. Of course, if you want to talk baseball, the number 42, you think of Jackie Robinson. Of course, Major League Baseball celebrated Jackie Robinson Day on Monday, where everyone in the league wore 42. Gene was the last active player to wear 42.
Mariano Rivera.
Correct. He's also the first unanimous Hall of Famer.
The 1-0 in there for a strike as George washes it. And always a great tradition to see all of the players wearing 42 on Jackie Robinson Day. The only time anyone will ever wear 42 again in the MLB, as the 1-1 is outside against George. Hannah George on the year, batting .229, 0 of 2 today. 2-1 count to her. Rochard ready to go. Giving up 1 in the inning already. Runner on second. Pumps the fastball right by Hannah George and evens the count back up at 2. 2 on, 2 out. Excuse me, runner on second, 2 out. 2-2 count. 8-4 game here. The Tar Heels leading. Rochard ready to go. Here comes the 2-2 to George. Swings through it, and that is strike 3. The Hokies give up 1 on the error by Bennett, but they still are within striking distance, trailing by 4. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th after this. Welcome back to Blacksburg on this Easter Sunday. 3304 Sports has the second game of this Tar Heels Hokies doubleheader. I'm Jake Lyman. Trey Lyle to my right.
Hello.
We head to the bottom of the 5th with North Carolina leading 8-4. The Hokies trying to get back in it, and clinch the ACC Coastal. That'll start right here with Jamie Bailey at the plate. She'll watch strike 1 from Hannah George.
Good part for the Hokies is they have the top of the lineup to start this inning.
And you like Jamie Bailey and Darby Troll. If they can get on base, you bring up that power stretch 3-4-5. Bailey swings through the 0-1 way out in front of Hannah George's second pitch of the at-bat. And now Bailey in a hole. Hannah George has struggled today to finish off hitters. Gotten a lot of hitters in 0-2 and 1-2 counts. Hasn't been able to finish as Bailey will foul the 0-2 off. Jamie Bailey had 2 hits in the first game. Now batting .411 on the year. The freshman out of Scott Depot, West Virginia. Her travel team was the national champion in 2016, 17, and 18. She'll watch the 0-2 up above the letters for ball 1. Jamie Bailey accustomed to winning. As I said, national championship 3 years in a row, and in high school, her high school team was the state champion 4 years in a row. So
that's very impressive. Comes here and wins 40 games. So she seems to just win.
She'll pop this one up on the infield. Dayla Moore charging. She'll get it, and that will be out number 1. Not how you want to start the inning if you're the Hokies.
Yeah, but they can all change it with one swing of the bat. Darby Troll up here homered earlier today in game 1, so she's shown she has some power. But her goal right now, I would believe, is just to get on base, because the Hokies' goal is just to get some runners on the board and hope their power can take control.
8-4 game. Darby Troll will watch strike 1 on the outside corner from Hannah George, and once again getting ahead.
When Hannah George has shown she's been able to get ahead of counts is when she's done well. It's when she struggled is when she cannot find the zone early in counts.
Troll popping this one up down the left field line. Charging is DeBerry. She'll make the play. Destiny DeBerry going into foul territory to make the catch, and 2 quick outs. And DeBerry, mentioned earlier, has not made an error in 2 straight seasons, and she showed off her defensive prowess there, making the great play to retire Darby Troll. Now Caitlin Nolan will come in with 2 outs. And remember, last inning the Hokies made their play with 2 outs, scoring 4 runs after that second out was recorded. Now you got the 3-4-5 hitters to hopefully get something going here and maybe cut into this lead. Nolan will hit this one back to George in the circle. She'll throw to Hutcherson, and a quick inning for Hannah George and the Tar Heels. A much-needed bounce-back inning for George after giving up 4 in the 4th. Tar Heels still leading here 8-4 in Blacksburg We'll be back here on 3304 Sports. Back here at Tech Softball Park, where the Tar Heels are leading the Hokies 8-4. Keely Rochard back in the circle for her second full inning of work. And a bunt here from Hutcherson will start off the inning. Bennett fires across to Bailey for out number 1. Good bunt there by Hutcherson, but a better play by Bennett at third base, charging and making a solid throw.
Collected it barehanded.
That'll bring up Destiny DeBerry. We saw her make a nice play out in left field in the bottom of the 5th. Now here in the top of the 6th, she'll bunt once again. Bennett up barehanded, fires, this time not in time. And DeBerry's going to second. Rochard throws and she's out. Not exactly sure what the thought process was there from Destiny DeBerry. Kind of got off first base. She was safe. Throw goes back to the pitcher, Rochard. Rochard seemed confused why DeBerry was running, just throws to second, and easy tag out for out number 2.
Yeah, I honestly don't get what happened. Maybe trying to catch her napping. Pretty interesting to see.
So back-to-back bunts from North Carolina brings up Leah Murray at the top of the order. She'll watch strike 1 on the outside third. Murray extended her hitting streak to 15 games already earlier in the game. 1 for 3 on the day. Here comes the 0-1 from Rochard. It's going to be outside, evening the count back up at 1. So last time through the order, we saw Hutcherson and DeBerry both get pinch hit for by Goodman and Godwin. Both of them doubled. They're pulled out here, and Papa decides to go with the bunting strategy for her bottom 2 hitters in the lineup, as the 1-1 is outside once again. Now a 2-1 count to Murray. Rochard, still no earned runs on the day. Last innings was caused by an error, so not earned. And Murray will get her second hit of the game here, shooting that one into left field. With 2 outs now, a runner on first for North Carolina. Christina Burkhart will be next to face Rochard. 0 for 3 on the day. She's just 1 for 10 in the series with 3 strikeouts, so Tech's pitchers have had her number through these 3 games. Rochard starts the at-bat with a pitch high and inside. Lauder checking on Murray over there at first. We mentioned 100 stolen bases for Leah Murray. Second in program history. Definitely a threat to be running over there at first base. Rochard delivers the 1-0. That's going to be swung through for strike 1.
If you're Keely Rochard, if you can get out of this inning without any runs, I think you keep the Hokies in it as best you can heading into the bottom of the 6th, because at-bats are becoming limited if you're the Hokies.
Only 6 more outs to play with for Virginia Tech, so Rochard would definitely like to keep this at a 4-run deficit. Burkhart watches the 1-1. That'll be ball 2. Looked like Murray might be running there. Stopped. Maybe trying to force a throw from Lauder behind the dish.
Rochard was even ready for it. Got down quickly, and she was covering her face with her glove, which I say I respect. I would have done the same thing.
Rochard fires. Burkhart on the ground. Flip from Banks to second, and a great play. Banks got down on one knee, bobbled the ball a little bit, knew she had no play on Burkhart at first base. Donna Papa didn't like the call.
It looked like she did the splits. Donna Papa is animated out here.
And she waves off the umpire over there behind second base. That today is Bob Thomas. Papa storming off the field. Now the assistant coach going to talk to the umpire. Leah Murray still on the field. Believe she was safe.
Yesterday, of course, head coach Pete DeMore got tossed, and he wasn't even this animated. So he must have said something really bad to that home plate umpire, which I believe was Bob Thomas, who they're talking to right now. So interesting to see.
Some yelling coming from the Virginia Tech faithful, yelling something about throw her out, I believe. So Pete DeMore got tossed yesterday. The Hokie fans kind of want a little bit of evening up there.
And Pete DeMore right now is just chilling, got the hoodie up and chilling right near the Hokies dugout, about to head over to his third base coaching duties.
He's just leaning up against the padding over there. It takes a lot to get Pete DeMore animated.
And
and
definitely so. We've heard how he's just a calm, relaxed kind of guy.
Well, the Hokies do catch a break there, able to get make the play. Maddie Banks corralling the ground ball, tossing it to second base to get Leah Murray.
Well, the hard part here for Hannah George is you're still going to have to face two power hitters to start this at bat, Emma Strouth and then Kelsey Bennett. So we'll see how she can handle it. She's been handling it great in her every time she's faced this part of the lineup. So we'll see if the Hokies can finally take advantage of their power.
Hannah George has been very good against these players, like you mentioned. Hasn't really allowed the power to become a factor. Strouth will watch the first pitch down and away. And Lauder was able to hit a home run off her. It just seems like Hannah George's approach has been very good against these tough hitters. Hasn't given them much to turn on and has gotten them out. Strouth will pop this one up down the first base line. Hutcherson's going to grab it close to the UNC dugout, and that'll be out number 1. And it's really a tough feat to go through this part of the order. We mentioned it all day long. I feel like we're being repetitive, but they are just that good. And Pickett struggled with it, allowing Emma Strouth to tee off and hit a 2-run home run. But Hannah George has been calm, cool, and collected against these top hitters for Tech. And she'll start off Kelsey Bennett with a strike on the inside corner. 1 out, nobody on. UNC leading here 8-4. Kelsey Bennett will swing through the 0-1, and now in a hole. No balls, 2 strikes.
And if you're Kelsey Bennett, you just got to get on base here. You got to find contact, and hopefully that can manufacture some runs for this Virginia Tech side. But if Hannah George is just locked in, especially against this part of the lineup, and it looks difficult for the Hokies.
Bennett popping this one out to right field. Burkhart camped under it. Easy play there for the redshirt sophomore.
And if you're Hannah George, 2 up, 2 down, that's what you want. You want to try to get through these final 6 outs as quickly as possible, and she's gotten 2 of them very quickly.
Al Velasquez coming in now. 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. Her walk was crucial last time, though. Set up the double from Lauren Duff that brought in 2 runs, and then in turn set up the Mackenzie Lauder home run. Velasquez will foul this one over towards the Virginia Tech bench.
Actually hit a Gatorade bottle there on the dugout, so pretty good shot there by Velasquez. We'll say we'll give her 5 bonus points.
Sadly, that won't help them win this game.
It will not, but it's just impressive.
We'll have to let her know that she got 5 Trey Lyle bonus points on that play. Here comes the 0-1. That's a strike as well.
Whew. Great pitch there by Hannah George, who just looks comfortable there on the mound. She's smiling, shrugs her shoulders. She looks very comfortable right there in the circle.
And she's pitched 7 innings thus far in this game, as Velasquez hits this one on the ground to second base. An easy play there for Leah Murray, and that will be the 6th inning. So Hannah George, as I was saying, has pitched 8 innings today, given up 4 runs, all of those coming in 1 inning. So besides that 1 inning, she's really been great for the Tar Heels. Stepped up, and it looks like with 1 inning to go, Tar Heels are going to have a good chance to win this series. We'll head to the top of the 7th after this. Tar Heels leading 8-4 here in Blacksburg. You're listening to 3304 Sports. Welcome back to Blacksburg. We're here in the second game of our doubleheader between North Carolina and Virginia Tech. We're in the 7th inning, so running out of time here for the Hokies, trailing 8-4 against UNC. Rochard in the circle. Ramsey will hit this one on the ground. Bennett up with it and makes the play over to first for out number 1. The Hokies, as we've mentioned, have a chance to clinch the ACC Coastal with a win. But right now, chances of that not looking too good, trailing 8-4, and then in the bottom of the inning, we'll see the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for Virginia Tech. Rochard throws strike 1 past Brittany Pickett. Pickett had a home run back in the 4th and a single in the 5th. Has reached base in all 3 of her at-bats today, a walk back in the 2nd inning being the 3rd plate appearance. Oh, and she'll get beamed here by Rochard. That's the 2nd time this series she has been hit by a pitch. Eberly hit her yesterday. This time, Rochard is going to get her.
Actually, Rochard hit her both times. She hit her earlier today.
That must be the 3rd time in this series she's been hit then. So, Brittany Pickett taking her lumps here in Blacksburg. Some comments from the UNC fans not liking that Brittany Pickett has been plunked so many times in this series. So 1 out, 1 on. Bringing to the plate the catcher, Megan Dre. Had a single in the 4th, struck out looking last time up. That one's hit. It'll get over our heads this time, though.
I was ready.
Trey had his hands up, ready to make that play.
I was in position.
Just a little too high.
I should have brought my glove from the car.
If you were only a couple inches taller, I think you could have gotten that one.
For my intramural softball team, I have my glove in my car.
Here comes the 0-1 to Dre. And that'll hit her. So 2 straight hit by pitches. Rochard struggling with some control. And the UNC players and fans don't like it. It looks like Liz Hammerschmidt's going to go talk to the Virginia Tech dugout.
And this is her 10th. You really think about it, this is her 10th inning today. Came in the 4th, and now she's pitching her 10th inning of work today. So a lot has happened. She looks in a little discomfort on the mound, but she's going to stay out there.
Definitely a lot of work for Rochard. She pitched the entire first game. And then, like you said, she came in the 4th, had to finish off that inning. This is now her 3rd full inning of work. So by the end of this one, she's going to have close to 11 innings pitched today. That's a lot of work on that right arm for Keely Rochard. So 2 on now after the 2 hit by pitches, 1 out, bringing in Berlin De La Mora. And Rochard able to come back here, settle down, and throw strike 1. Tar Heels leading 8-4. And you have to be impressed with the way North Carolina has played lately. Their last ACC series was a series win over Florida State, top 5 in the country, winning 2 out of 3 there. And then the Hokies, who have been so impressive this year, if they can get away with 2 out of 3 on the road, UNC's looking like they're hitting their stride at the right time as De La Mora swings through the 0-1.
Both teams are destined for postseason play, not past the ACC tournament. So it's always great to be your best this time of year.
De La Mora fouls that one straight back, keeping the count at 0-2. And right now, Virginia Tech would be the 1 seed in the ACC tournament, and North Carolina would be the 2 seed. So there is a good chance these 2 teams could meet again in the ACC championship. Obviously, you never want to discount Florida State, one of the best teams in the country, but these 2 teams looking very good. We could see a big matchup in a couple of weeks. De La Mora shoots this one into left field. Strouth is there for out number 2. Rochard doing a good job bouncing back after hitting the last 2 batters to get De La Mora to fly out to Strouth in left. And now Hannah George will come back in. She is 0 for 3 today. Popped out in her first at-bat, and an error in her second at-bat, and struck out swinging her last time up. Batting 154 this season with 2 outs. Hasn't been the best in these late inning situations. She'll watch ball 1 outside. 2 on, 2 out for UNC, leading by 4 runs in the top of the 7th. The second game of our doubleheader here at Tech Softball Park. Rochard fires the 1-0. That one's going to be a little high. Now 2-0 to Hannah George. George has to feel comfortable with a 4-run lead heading to the bottom of the last inning, but I think she'd always like to add a little bit more cushion here, and she has a chance.
Yes, she does. It's always good to have cushion, no matter how big. 5 runs is better than 4 runs.
She'll watch strike 1. Now a 2-1 count, and she can get that lead to 5 runs, most likely with a single here. Brittany Pickett standing on second base in scoring position. Megan Dre on first. Rochard fires the 2-1. George swings and misses. A big one there from George. Looked like she wanted not only a 5-run lead, but a 7-run lead. Can't get her bat on it that time. Now 2-2 is our count. And deuces are wild. 2-2 with a 2 out and 2 runners on. I think I said that right.
And number 42,
George watches
so
strike
2.
3. On the inside corner, Rochard able to get her on strikes for the second time in a row. So another 0 on the board for the Hokies. They've still got some work to do when we come back in the bottom of the 7th, trailing 8-4. We're back here at Tech Softball Park for 3304 Sports. I'm Jake Lyman, my color commentator Trey Lyle on my right. And we are here in the last of the 7th. The Hokies trailing by 4. They need a little bit of a rally here, and whoever's controlling the music wanted to get the fans into it, playing the classic Virginia Tech song, Enter Sandman, that the football team runs out to every single game.
Well,
so
at this point, it's like every team that runs out to.
It's true. Lauren Duff in the box. She'll watch ball 1 down below the knees. Duff doubled her last time up, bringing in the first 2 runs for the Hokies as the wind starts to pick up once again here, blowing out towards right center field. Duff's going to hit it out to right center field. Can it get over the glove of Ramsey? No. A great play there. Kiani Ramsey able to grab it in right center field for out number 1. And now the Tar Heels are 2 outs away from a series win here in Blacksburg. They're going to have to get through Mackenzie Lauder, though. She hit a home run in her last at-bat. She'll hit this one on the ground hard to settle Meyer. Over to first, out number 2. And the Hokies down to their last out. And their hopes to come back will ride on freshman Maddie Banks. Banks pinch hit for in her last appearance.
The good part about Banks here is she can get on. They'll go back to the top of the lineup. So always a good thing to try to get to the top of the lineup where you have 2 great hitters in Bailey and Troll.
Banks tried to slap that one the other way. Couldn't get it straight enough. That's fouled off the nets down the third base line. And like you said, Maddie Banks gets on here with 2 outs and extends this game. You've got those top 5 hitters all can do it with their bat. So Hannah George would definitely like to end it here and not extend it. Banks will shoot this one to third base. De La Mora able to stab it with her glove, and that will end the game. Hannah George goes a complete game and picks up her 11th win on the season. UNC able to get to 29-15. They split the doubleheader here. The Hokies fall to 40-8. They still hold a 2-game lead here in the Coastal, but unable to clinch it. An 8-4 win for North Carolina. We'll have everything you need to know in the post-game coverage on 3304 Sports right after this. Welcome back for the last time to Tech Softball Park, where the UNC Tar Heels able to split the doubleheader with Virginia Tech after winning the second game 8-4. And it all started in the fourth inning. All but one of the runs scored in this game was scored in the fourth inning. So what was the key there for both teams?
It had to be just the fact that UNC had an onslaught of 7 runs, and it just seems like they took advantage of that. A couple defensive errors by the Hokies, 3 errors committed today. That's just something you cannot do against a great team like the University of North Carolina. But just the consistency at the bats of able to get on base and get runners in. And then the 2 changes by not Peter DeMore, that's the Hokies head coach, by UNC head coach Donna Papa to bring in those two pinch hitters, both producing doubles that kind of broke the game wide open.
And those 7 runs scored against Virginia Tech, all coming because of Carrie Eberly. All of those runs will be attributed to her, and usually such a great pitcher, but she struggled today. But who didn't struggle, Keely Rochard, 10 2/3 innings between the 2 games, not a single earned run on her box score today. So what was she doing today that was just allowing her to keep these UNC hitters from getting around and making plays at the plate?
I think you could just call today the theme of basically the number 2 pitchers in each team was just stepping up, because you had Hannah George also have a great day where Keely, I think she was just, her control was good. She had great speed on her fastball, and she had great ability to just keep the ball on the ground. And then for Hannah George, I mean, I think the biggest part is not allowing a hit, I believe, through the meat of Virginia Tech's lineup, the 3, 4, 5. She only gave up 4 runs in both games to one of the best offensive teams in all of college softball. And to keep that 8-run lead and keep the cushion, and then after giving up the 4 runs, to not allow any more runs the rest of the day has to feel good. Coming in late and keeping and not allowing runs. So she just was very dominant today in a great day for the number 2 pitchers for both teams.
And Hannah George, a big reason why North Carolina winning the rubber match of this series, able to beat the Hokies twice out of these 3 games we've had this weekend. And North Carolina getting their 29th win of the season today in the second game. The Hokies get their 40th earlier today, but will lose in the second game. 40-8 will be their record. They are 17-4 in the conference. North Carolina now 15-6. So still a 2-game lead for the Hokies in the ACC Coastal, but they have Boston College up next. They're going to have to win at least 2 out of those 3 to clinch the ACC Coastal. North Carolina coming up next will have 2 midweek games at home against UNC Wilmington and then on the road at UNC Greensboro on Wednesday before heading to Louisville for a road ACC series next weekend. It's been fun here on this Easter Sunday at Tech Softball Park. The Hokies and the Tar Heels splitting the doubleheader. The Tar Heels winning Game 2 by a score of 8-4. For 3304 Sports, I'm Jake Lyman. Trey Lyle has been my color commentator, and we will be back next week with some more games. It's been fun here. Happy Easter to all of you, and good night.